Chapter 6, Albert's Journal of the Universe, 6th entry, Conceptual Loss, September 2nd, 2045. Continued.
What happened the next day could be a paradox that we may never forget, yet this day in our dream vacation was all about forgetting. I am not even sure how I will be able to relate this story, or even how I am writing this journal. We all woke up from our dream sleep feeling wonderful, although we had no word thoughts or recognition of our relationships with each other. We gathered around one another as kindred spirits. All our names, statuses, language, knowledge, behavior patterns, and virtually everything we think we know was wiped from our minds. We smelled each other, looked each other over with caution, even got familiar in a playful manner as sibling puppies may do when first discovering one another. Everything was new as we explored our surroundings, instinctually marking our territory or way back or whatever. We were there to play. We were like newborn children, but without any parents or guiding force to teach us how to interpret what we experienced. We were in action, reaction mode, so to speak. The only way I am able to write this is because when the day, or should I say lifetime, ended, our prefabricated memories that we believe make us who we are returned to us. Only by sharing stories am I able to give this account for this magical day. Our group of dream vacationers remained with the dreamscape we created at the beginning of our vacation. Everything we needed was still there for us, although all of it was new or unfamiliar to us. We have lived out many lifetimes on this dream vacation, where we acted as observers or even participants to the stories that unfolded. Living an entire lifetime in one day that is really only a couple hours in our corporal starting point, where we are recording our physical bodies and environment while we are on this shared dream vacation. There are many surprises in recordings that I have alluded to in previous entries. That will have to wait because at this point in our vacation, it is not relevant. This lifetime started out with a blank slate. As we encountered things for the first time, they had no names attached to them. We did not know the words to make descriptions or place a name. We explored everything with a fresh set of senses and feelings. If something smelled good, we either licked it, poked it, played with it, ran around it, or we ate it. We tested the limits of what we could do without fear, only curiosity. There was no concept of individuality. Without seeing our reflection back from a mirror or calm pool of water, we saw the surrounding dreamscape and each other but not ourselves. Cycles of brightness and dim progressed in front of us, days and nights, creating certain urges within us. We watched each other grow in size, causing changes in our appearances to one another. It is amazing that even in this completely open blank mind, that my dear Mary and I still found each other as partners. The others saw what we had found with each other, causing a reunion with a different status matrix than the ones we had known before. It seems that the mice and children had a much better grasp as to adapting, learning, and thriving, even though we did not identify them as the mice and children until the dream day lifetime was complete. We also found out that we were spending the day with Scout and his tribe of mice on this amazing dream vacation as mice. We all started out as a large litter of newborn mice. The playing field was leveled all the way across the board. Even Scout and his tribe started out as infants along with us. Here we were, this large litter of baby mice with no adult figures or guides along our path. If we had any concept of fear then, that would have scared us to death. All we saw and experienced was wonder. Wonder without thoughts of wonder. There was danger around us, but with no concept of danger we moved about freely, until danger or something new came across our path. We had created this dreamscape with our full memory databanks, so it had everything the physical world had. Rivers, mountains, trees, animals, sky, beaches, ocean, even buildings and technology were still there, although it was all being discovered for the first time by us. For the first few weeks of our infant life as mice, things were rather uneventful. Somehow our basic needs were provided. I believe that some of the mice tribe choose to be caretakers during this period, but they were not there when we opened our eyes and started moving around for the first time. Even then, there was always food and water for our litter to consume. As we grew, we had to become independent of this mystery nutrition source as it seemed to dwindle away. This caused us to expand our realm of awareness. Scout naturally took on his role of explorer, and I would often join him on his foraging missions. It is quite miraculous that our life essences developed in a new way as we grew into children. We no longer had the gifts of thought consciousness or the ability to communicate in any type of spoken dialect. However, we seemed to instinctively work with each other, knowing what each of us could do to help us all out. I guess it can be compared to a physical body. The heart does not tell the hands to move, and the hands do not control the heart, but somehow both do their job to help out the whole body. When one part of the body is in discomfort, the rest of the body takes action to aid or comfort by meeting the needs of that ailing member of the whole. This is how our tribe worked without us even being aware of this. Bill would also accompany Scout and I on many foraging missions, although he ran around every new encounter, examining it from every angle. He would spend time just running around something we came across. He would touch it, smell it, climb on it, look at it closely, then back off to see it from a distance. It was like he was gathering data, but there were no real thought patterns going on. His recall is that he was just extremely curious. We were always extra cautious when we came across anything that moved around as we did. As I noted before, our environment was the dreamscape we set up when we started our dream vacation. On one of our first gathering missions, we came across Puss the cat, only we did not know her anymore. She was just a new obstacle to our mission. Scout spotted her from a distance, then quickly ushered us behind a boulder so we would not be noticed. Puss seemed to be completely oblivious to our lurking, as we bravely edged our way closer to see if we had come across something of benefit or something of harm. What we did not know was that Puss knew we were there and thought we were just playing. She was not part of our dream day, so she had recollection. To her, we were her playful companions trying to surprise her. What great fun this will be to spring on them when they get closer, she was thinking. There were 4 of us on that mission: Scout, Bill, Babbler, and me. It is hard to remember. We did not know each other's name. We came to this conclusion of who was there when we shared our recapitulation of the events. When Puss sprang up, we all went into flight mode, running in all directions. Scout, Bill, and I found each other when the alleged danger had passed, but apparently Babbler ran all the way back to the tribe. He took back with him a new set of emotions that none of the others had experienced in this new life: excitement, fear, stress, and doubt. True to his essence of babbling, he squeaked and squeaked until Myra Mouse was able to calm him down. Scout, Bill, and I continued our unspoken mission as if nothing out of the ordinary had occurred. We forgot about Puss's surprise attack as our stomachs reminded us of the task at hand. The successful discovery of food for the whole tribe brought back that carefree spirit that we all naturally had. This experience brought about a shift in our group. Not everything was safe. Caution was heightened as if something could happen at any moment. The best way to put this in words using hindsight is bravery was birthed. For the first time in these brief lives, the factor of harm was lurking and had to be overcome. Forgetfulness and childlike happiness were the best tools for this, as we found out. Thinking back on this whole experience, I feel that it was the lack of seeing our reflections that caused the tribal bonding that was so prevalent. We only saw each other, so the realization of our own and divide you all did not come into our blank, rational mind developing in that life. As our brief life progressed, and each of us used our natural essences to play and survive, we had to change our developed routines with the change to our environment. Mary's ability to read minds and share her calm instincts was subtle, but was the glue that pulled us all together at times. Myra's ability to heal by bringing calm through empathy, helping to heal, also helped us in this lifetime. They hold stories within our story entry. Starting over without existing concepts or influence from others who have conceptualized reality for us, caused old concepts to be re-examined and new concepts to be noticed. I see this clearly now that our memories have returned. It took thousands of years to develop concepts. A history of man shows this. In this life as mice, we lost all of the knowledge gathered from man's observations with limited perspectives. As the evolution of man progressed from hunters to gatherers or from gatherers to cultivators, we kept our past instincts, just adding to or building our paradigm. As we learned to communicate, we gathered into families, then communities, creating structures for dwelling to help and protect one another. The verification process began early in development. In order for any idea to be implemented, it has to be recognized, verified, agreed upon, then acted upon. The ideas such as law, religions, governments, language, and just about everything needed verification. Verification or validation of ideas developed into cultures. Mutually beneficial ideas caught on easily, like the idea of farming, while other ideas needed other methods of persuasion to achieve the validation or consent to become part of our existence. It truly amazes me just how much we have defined into believable existence that has no true substance, with only beliefs holding them together. Even in this progressed society where the illusions of money, debt, governments, and segregating belief systems are old dogmas, we still box in our reality. This magical day with the mice has opened up 1 billion new possibilities to the realization of existence or source self-recognition. Belief is one of the most powerful forces in our shared experience. The ones that are shaping belief systems know this. Your verification or validation or consent or approval is like a gift of energy or exchange of energy. Creating beliefs is like creating gods without realizing that you are the god creating a god. In a way, it takes your belief to make that god valid. Limiting beliefs brings illusions of substance and boundaries on possibilities. Although shared beliefs hold greater power or influence in our shared environment, we are the genie in the bottle. Each one of us shared a recapitulation of our day lifetime as mice with accounts that inspired this journal entry. Scout announced the intent of what they shared was to bring us all closer to, is or just being. He told us that it was important to them to not forget the minds that they had before Brandon had shared concepts and communications with them. The uncluttered mind is closer to source, and they wanted to share this with us. We thought we knew this, but the true experience brings with it a state of being that we can return to at any time, a state of divine innocence, to receive added perspectives in our observations. One other reminder we all experienced as we discussed our lifetime was the development of our emotions. We had no names for what we were experiencing within, therefore we had no descriptions for us to follow. A description is a script given to us for us to act out. Without the description of fear, as an example, each of us had a separate reaction to the stimulus causing the body to react. Babbler ran around with the fear always with him, after his experience with Puss, even if he did not know it was fear he was holding on to. Even with his feelings, he was writing his own script. In this case, it was a feeling associated with an event, although he was unable to get others to act out his script of what we describe as fear. Scout, Bill, and I each had the same encounter with Puss as Babbler, although we followed our own script. It was up to us how we scripted our journey without a script being written for us. If we need guidance, there are many scripts to learn from, but we have to choose what script was acted out when we react to anything. If you are acting on your own script, then you do not need a teleprompter from someone like Babbler, who may be holding on to his reaction to one event. You may want his story but not the script he has chosen to follow. You do not need a teleprompter following someone else's script. Our descriptions of our emotions are limiting what we feel and how we react. Without the scripts to follow, many paths are open. There are billions of ways to describe the emotion love, but it is unique each time with each act. Emotion is your action from stimuli. This is just the surface of what we forgot that day lifetime, and it is hard to describe the experience in limiting word descriptions. We shared a lot of memories of the forgetfulness. When someone prescribes a remedy or claims authority, they may be attempting to usurp your power by dictating your narrative, or perhaps they are simply presenting options. Ultimately, it is our responsibility to decide how we utilize our energy and what we allocate it towards. I described this day as magical, but a couple other mag words that fit as well. It was magnificent and it was magnifying. I am sure this experience will draw us back. We ended this day after our long discussions, looking forward to what the next day of our dream vacation held for us. Now we dream our dream sleep that prepares us for the coming experiences. We probably do not need sleep, but that is how we described ourselves when we created this dreamscape vacation reality resort. Is this cosmic fun, or what? Refreshing our minds to foster the formation of new thoughts is essential for the growth of our inner knowledge. My mother often said that our minds should absorb knowledge like a sponge. However, I believe that this sponge should be wrung out occasionally to prevent saturation and make room for fresh knowledge.
Thank you for joining us in the playground. Please subscribe, like, and share. You can also visit quasiversecomicbooks.com